Hello and welcome to the Talking Wednesday podcast. This is show number 133 and welcome to this episode. This is a Jake and Jack episode. Deck will be back next week. Yeah, that's where we're at. So, as you can see, Jack is either cracked or he's just down into the camera to freak me out.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I didn't quite catch that. You're talking to Worko GPT. To talk to this AI bot, please enter text into the box below. Sorry, it's just that loads of videos of that have been appearing everywhere, all over my news feeds.
Yep.
And I also kind of thought I'd just freak Jake out a little bit because it's funny, innit?
It worked.
Hello, Jake. Yes.
How are you, my friend?
Episode 133. I'm tired, but I'm good. And you'll never guess what? I wish I had a wig for this, but I've been busy because I've started a new part-time job.
Oh.
And they've basically put me on my hours. I've got my minimum hours that they've given me in the contract, and I'm currently working double that. So it's lovely. It's great. But yes,
nice.
It's great, and I'm actually really happy there. Everyone's really nice and really welcoming, and yes, it's been very nice.
Good.
That's how my week's gone because I've not spoke. We speak almost every day, and I've not spoken to you for like a week now because of this.
I think we literally spoke last night for like 30 or 40 minutes. Or it may even been an hour.
Yeah.
After I did my live stream, and that's about it.
Yes. Where you went very unhinged, and I loved it. I loved every second. I was relishing it. You went proper off the deep end, and it was glorious.
I think that's just because.
But how? Yeah.
I think that's just because I'm trying to just. The whole point of some of my episodes at the minute with that one is just I want the community to have a say of well, but sometimes the community's a bit unhinged. But
so you just have to return in kind.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand. I totally understand. But how's your week been, Jake?
It's been weird, actually. It's been weird because we're getting to like the last little bits of the summer holiday now. So there's like, 2 weeks left. So she's at that point where she's ready to go back. I'm ready for her to go back. But then you've got to, I'm not running out of stuff to do with her because there's loads of things she can do. But the last couple of days, she's been hit and miss. And I think she's getting to that point she's ready to have a routine back. She currently got really into show tunes because of her doing dancing. She does dancing, and a lot of the stuff they do is like show tunes, Broadway hits. And she currently got really into Six, which is about Henry VIII's wives kind of thing. So it's doing like that. Basically, it's like if a music teacher and a history teacher decided to do a way of teaching kids how to do with song. This is how you would do it.
Oh, yeah.
And at her last dance show she did, one of the songs was one of the ones she'd done, and she's just obsessed with it. But it got to the point where I'm now obsessed with it because I keep hearing it. And I'm walking around singing the Sonic songs.
Well, Jake, she must be really defying gravity with that amount of dancing. Get it?
Yes, I get it.
Get it? Yeah.
But to be fair,
any musical theatre fans in the audience space will understand that and probably do a little chuckle, or a little eye roll. Either way,
she getting to that point with her dancing where she's. The thing is, what people don't realise with the dancing stuff or theatre stuff or music stuff, a lot of people just think you're learning and that's it. But a lot of the times you were at exams. I used to have violin and drum exams. Like one of the weirdest things is having a drum exam. Because it's like, for me, I just play drums because I want to do the beat, play the songs. I wasn't expecting to have to do a bloody sodding exam. I understand it with my violin because I was in an orchestra and everything. But drums, it always just knocks me a little bit. It's like, why am I needing to do an exam? I don't care. I don't want a piece of paper to show me how I am, but it's part of what they do. So she got some dancing exam, but apart from that, it's been good. Was it last?
And of course, I must also add the point of James will know all about all the struggles of all of the music exams in the music world. Because believe it or not, folks, believe it or not, he's a musician, which he never mentions ever.
No, you do it for him instead.
Yes. Yes.
But
because it's funny. I think we carry on the joke long after it's expired.
I think we got the thing at the minute where I'm at that point. I'm ready I'm ready for her to go back in a bit of normality. But apart from that, just figuring stuff out in here. Trying to not get killed by the hormonal pregnant wife, which is fun. Basically, keep your gob shut. And I'm doing a good job at that because I'm still here. To be fair, she's not been that bad. The last time she was pregnant, she lost her sarcasm and she didn't know how to deal with it, and it was hilarious.
Oh dear.
I got killed a lot when she was last pregnant, but
nice.
We're also in that bit where we're starting to get things done and dusted ready for baby number 2. Like, it doesn't feel like a long way away, but it is. Like, we're due in December and it's very close to September, so it's not that far along, kind of thing, in the scheme of things, because that's going to fly eventually. So God knows what can happen with things I do when it comes to that, because everything's gonna change. 2 kids, not done that before, so it's that kind of thing, getting into that mental thing. And I've been playing a lot of computer games recently, like a hell of a lot of computer games. What was I playing the other day? I'm finally trying to finish Far Cry 6.
Nice.
Because I had a break from Far Cry 6 because I got so fed up with it. Just the Yara do my head in. It doesn't feel like a Far Cry game. It just doesn't.
No, yeah.
They tried to combine Far Cry 5 with Far Cry 3 and went boom for me. But this ain't a gaming podcast. This is a Sheffield Wednesday podcast. No.
I must say, I always chuckle whenever you keep bringing up your baby number 2, because it's a very, very long way for baby number 1 for me. Not because, you know, I'm with someone and they're pregnant or anything. It's because I don't know how to talk to women, so it's very clearly a very long way until baby number 1's on the way for me, because I need to actually learn how to approach a woman first.
Yeah,
before
you
that
need
can
to be
ever
able
even
to
be on the cards.
approach them and
so there we go.
Make sure they can actually deal with you for a long period of time.
Yeah,
and
it not just result and not just result in some sort of platonic relationship. Actually,
that'll happen,
romance out of it.
You're 24. You've still got plenty of time.
I was making a joke, Jake. I wasn't meaning to be all serious about it. You've got plenty of time. It's fine.
You've got plenty.
I was trying to make people laugh. I want to make the people at home laugh, not pity me. I don't want pity. I want laughter about it.
See, I want pity for you.
Because if I don't laugh, I'll cry.
That's the thing. I want pity for you.
Oh, well. Yeah. Well, there we go. We played
a game, but before we do that, let's go through the housekeeping stuff. Socials, Talking Wednesday on Twitter. In a minute.
Yeah, at Talking Wed.
At Talking Wed, yeah. Tweet us there. The Discord, if you want to get on the Discord, message James. He'll try and get you in. It's getting more active now, which is good. There are membership options, which is Talking Wednesday extra episodes on there. I have been told by James they are coming soon. They are just... He's been... Surprisingly or not, he's been busy.
Whoa, he's been busy? No,
he's been busy.
Surely
but they
not,
are coming.
James.
But if you want to become a member, please do so. It does help the channel out. And reviews. If you want to leave a review of this podcast, we would much appreciate it. Any review that is 5 stars, we will read on the show. And I think we'll have to go through and see if we found any to get read out. But yeah,
we haven't had. I actually did check the other day. We did check. James and I checked the other day, and there was not many new reviews. It's been quite a long time since a review. So if you do like the show, then let us know that. Or if you don't, also let us know that. We thrive on criticism and improvement, and
the way you get better.
You know, so exactly. So feedback is much appreciated.
We had a football game to play on Saturday.
Yes, we did,
and it was at home, and it was against Preston North End. Now, Ryan Lowe, ex-Wednesday player. Do you call him a legend a little bit? He was part of that team. He did well when he came. He was decent. Yeah. But one of the big things on this game was, for me, like, the one thing we needed to improve on massively was the possession. It was, we went from 20 possession versus Southampton, 27 versus, who was it last week? Hull. That's it. Thank you. I've forgotten about that game already.
Yes.
But in the end, we eventually had 53% of the ball, which is huge. It showed that something was working. Now, this was a game of 2 halves. And again, this seemed to be a Wednesday thing for me. Wednesday seemed to only play with 2 halves. We either have one really good half and then one really bad half and kind of thing. Now, one of the things in this game, you had a really good starting lineup for me. Masaba started, Mo Diaby started, Byers in the midfield. You were like, okay, there's something there. Granted, for me, Palmer started as well, which is good. For me, I was still shocked that Gregory started. I thought he would have played Smith after Smith's goal. But you saw like, right, okay, let's see what we're going to try and do. First half, we did do well. The one thing that was really good in this game was Mo Diaby, because he just controlled the midfield. Every time they need to. Like, the one thing I think we can all say is that our midfield as late have been very... They've been non-existent. It's been a bit flat. There's been no one who could get the ball and just hold it up. And it was really good. Yes, Akin plays left back again. We'll get into that later. I still don't think he's a left back, but I'm not the manager. So, the thing is, we only see 90 minutes of a game. Or 190 minutes, whatever the bloody added time on. I know, I think it was Pompey game. There was like 21 minutes of added time. Or something daft like that.
What, in total,
yeah.
I guess? Like,
yeah, because like a referee got
a
referee got injured. And then the fourth official came on, and then the fourth official got injured, so they had to get someone out of the crowd.
Oh my God.
Or something like... It was something daft like that, so it added on. But played really well. Not really cutting edge with chances. Masaba, really good at going forward and really good at defending, just drawing in the foul, what you need. And it was okay. I think going in at 0-0, I think we would have been the better of the team. They had some chances, nothing really clear cut. There was one that was really good save. Return of Will Keane as well, if you remember that loan. He's actually really improved since he's like finally got rid of all these injuries. Now, this is where it went to hell. Second half, 5 minutes in, we give away a free kick. It's looped in, and a player goes in between Akin and Mo Diaby. Just straight in between the gap. It's 1-0. Good header. But it's poor defending from us again. No one picking up the man. And again, this is something that we've noticed. We're now conceding more from set pieces. We've not got no clean sheets. It's like we're trying... I understand what we're trying to do. But also, at the same time, Mo Diaby goes off injured.
Yeah.
It's a foot injury.
And it actually seems quite bad because they've had to take him into the hospital for an MRI scan on said foot, which means that it's cartilage injury, potentially.
It's ligaments and all
that's
that.
Not nice.
No, and he's on loan as well, so he'll either do it here or go back to where he is from with his club. And from that, our midfield went. The midfield went completely, and our head dropped.
It went to pot, yes.
We did have a little bit of chances, but nothing really clear-cut. We just couldn't get back into that bit of the game. Palmer played really well, say he's just come back. And again, people had the whole thing of going, where's James, where's Johnson? Put Palmer back in. I think what you've got to remember with the game is that we are a team that's in transition. We are a transitional team, and it takes time. I've seen improvement from Southampton to Hull to this. Massive improvements. It's gonna take time. The problem is we're trying something different. I still don't think one up top with Gregory works. But again, I only see 90 minutes. You only see 90 minutes. They get to be in the thing. Josh Windass wasn't used, and I can imagine Josh not being happy with that. But I don't think we'll have the Josh Windass evolve where he would have got a bit annoyed by it. I think he'll go, it's football, it is what it is. Yeah. Gassama came on, which I was shocked by. I wasn't expecting him to get any minutes, if I'm honest. I thought we'd wait a little bit. Looked okay for his first spell. I think it will take him time to get used to Championship. I think he's not used to having that much time on... He's used to having more time on the ball, if that makes sense. But 1-0.
Yeah. I mean, I would also actually argue that the last two games in the league haven't really been against a side we could measure ourselves up against, because we've got Southampton, who were a team at the time. I mean, it's just Sheffield Wednesday's luck, innit, that all their main key players get sold after the Hillsborough game. Like, Shea Adams is now apparently on the move somewhere else, allegedly.
Yeah, and he's good for them again.
And yeah, exactly. He's the one that scored their winner.
Yeah.
And they're basically a team that have come down and they've almost retained their entire Premier League outfit from last year.
But again, parachute
Hull
payments, they don't mean anything.
Yeah. But then Hull as well, they've got the new ownership that are really frigging going for it. So they've been getting quite a lot of very high quality players in. So they're not really a realistic example, I would say. They've also been settled for a year as well as a side. But now we've got Preston, who've had quite a few incomings and outgoings, who are a team in a bit of a flux as well. But I would argue I'll also have a similar caliber of player to us. So I think this is the first time this season we've actually had a measurable comparison, if you like, between another standard team in the Championship and ourselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because our next,
so I would say this was probably a better test than.
Well, this is our last.
This
is our last home game in the league till the 18th of September.
Oh,
our next two games are Cardiff, who are not doing great, and we'll talk about that later, and Leeds in the league. And the thing is, could we use the whole thing that this is a Yorkshire derby against Leeds, and that bit more motivation let it go? Because Leeds are not looking good. Cardiff and Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds are not having a good time.
Cardiff and Leeds, who we've got next, don't look brilliant.
No.
So this could be a good point where we think, if you go via stats, we have 53 possessions to their 47. We had 8 shots and 3 of them are on target. They have 5 and 2 of them were on target. So only 1 of them was the goal. No cut.
But I think that also says it all to me a little bit, is that we had 8 shots and only 3 of them were on target. Ideally, we would be having 8 shots and 6 or 7 were on target. That's what it should be. But
I think a big stat here is the corners. It said to me that we weren't just getting in forward enough, and if we were getting balls in, because the problem is we're getting balls into the box, but it was way too close to the keeper, so he was just catching it all day long.
He was just catching.
We had 0 corners, none, to their 4, and 14 to 16 fouls. Which the fouls have gone down again.
I think those foul stats are going to be really high until the players get used to these new rulings, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because, and to be honest, given that referees are currently being watched by another person in the stands from the FA every single game, they'll be going a bit overboard on these new fouls and whatnot, won't they? So that's.
I think I will say something. There was an interview at the end by Rob Statton, and Sicko used the example of Arsenal, who were bottom 4 games in, 0 points. And he basically said it does take time it took time for Arteta's process to go. I hate the word trust the process because Arsenal fans are just memed the hell out of that. But we do have to trust the process to a little bit.
Yes, we do.
And I didn't like Rob Statton's reply going, yeah, but they've got world-class players. That's the difference. It wasn't the whole point.
That doesn't matter, though. That really doesn't matter who the players are or if they're world-class, if they're the local lads from the academy. It doesn't matter. Any team that has a new system in place, that has a whole new management structure, the manager, the coaches, whatever, all of that takes time to bed in. It's not going to just, it's not going to click. And it didn't with Arteta at Arsenal. Excellent example there.
Yeah.
Is that Arteta took a good couple of months for his ideals to be in place, and now everybody's saying that he's one of the best managers in England.
We're gonna be this year Nottingham Forest. I feel it just for me.
Yes,
it's how long does Chansiri give it, not how long does we give it as fans. Because that's the deciding factor. Because we don't have a
exactly.
And the thing is, I think with how everything's happened in the summer and stuff like that, I think he's gonna give Sicko as long as he wants. Personally, because.
I think
again,
so.
It's one of those things.
I think he likes him. Yeah. I think the chairman really likes him and really likes the sort of football he wants to play. Look at how many photos come out and they're laughing and joking with each other and they're seeming quite, pally with each other.
So
and I also think that he's learned not to give in to fan pressure, because fan pressure got us rid of Carlos and it also got us Jordan Rhodes. And one would argue that since the departure of Carlos until the little brief stint with Steve Bruce, it didn't really go well. And then it didn't really go well after that either.
No.
And so fan pressure could have been a factor into why we've not done so well after the 2 successive playoff seasons. So that's, fan pressure shouldn't mean anything. It's all about how long the chairman wants to give the manager. We can say all we want about who we think should be in the job, how long we think that we should give them, all that jazz. But that doesn't matter because it's not our football club. We are simply the fans of a football club.
It's our, our football club in the sense that we support it and
we support it. Yes.
Legally, as ownership, he owns it. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yes, exactly.
It's like when I've seen the kind of DC out stuff. It's like protests don't do much. All it does is let fans have their anger out. And the problem is, we're going to get into this later because there's a story about it later, which will be interesting. But the thing is, I think we'll save it for there because I think that it's more poignant. What we've got to remember is that we are a team currently in a transitional phase, new manager, new players. It's going to take time. And I saw improvement. I did see improvement. Second half, I saw massive improvement. Also, you've got to remember, we're going from a situation. You've got players going from Darren Moore ball of football for 2 years, trying to now go to a Sicko approach, which is completely different.
Yeah.
And the other thing you've also got is you look at last season, hardly ever lost at home. We've lost 2 now at home. We had a very good clean sheet record. Now we don't have the clean sheet record. We had 96 points. The problem is we're going from such a high, which is up here, then to such a low now. And I think
it's such a really hard graft and stuff, and it's It's
gonna take time, but we'll see where we are in the net. I say net 15, 20 games. We'll see where we are, and then if it's not working, maybe that's where you go. This ain't working. Maybe change, or you can have the say. But I get it. Let's go into the championship results then. So Leeds and West Brom 1-1. West Brom goal was interesting. I'm pretty sure it was handball, but that's me. Southampton 2-1 versus Plymouth away. Plymouth were unlucky in that one. Hull, another win for Hull. 2-1 versus Blackburn Rovers. Red card for Blackburn Rovers. 1-1 versus Middlesbrough and Huddersfield. 1-1 versus Coventry and Swansea. 1-0 to Preston versus us. Sunderland versus Rotherham. 2-1 to Sunderland. Birmingham City. 2-0. Birmingham versus Bristol City. 2-0. Red card for Bristol City. Leicester City 2. Cardiff 1. Our next opponents. Red card for them. Ipswich Town 1-0 versus QPR. Stoke versus Watford. 1-0 Stoke. And today's game, which we can't do because we're filming this on Sunday, Norwich City versus Millwall, so it will be interesting to see what happens there. There's no point really looking at the table after. All you need to know is that Ipswich on the top and we're on the bottom with 0 points.
No. Don't poo-poo this. We're 9 points off the top, Jake, and we're on a cup run. Come on! Yes!
There's no point looking at tables this early on. It's three games in. There's no point. A lot can happen from there. But like I said, let's see where we are. It wasn't a good result, but it was a better performance. Just that second half, our head dropped. And yeah, it's just we've got to improve on that kind of thing. And the back, and I think it will. But let's get into the news. We have mentioned him already.
Okay, Keemstar. Sorry. Let's get right into the news.
Okay.
Do you not remember that? Do you not remember Keem? No?
No.
Is that,
I haven't watched Keemstar.
Anybody in the comment section that knows about who the heck Keemstar
I know who he is.
Good old killer Keemstar. Just put a comment. Just put a comment. People have said that I remind them of him sometimes when I have a bigger beard and stuff. Anyway, yes. Let's get right into the news, shall we? And I will say this name because you can't. So it's Jedi Gassama joins Sheffield Wednesday. Take it away, Jake, with the article.
Thank you. The Owls have completed the permanent sign of Brentford winger Jedi Gassama from French giant PSG, I'm just going to say that. Paris Saint-Germain. The 19-year-old becomes Wednesday's 10th signing of the summer in this transfer window. Gassama came through the youth ranks at PSG and made his professional debut in a 4-0 win over Montpellier in May 2022, featuring alongside superstar Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe. He received 2 call-ups for the France under-20 squad in September 2022, playing twice for the Blues' young side against Tunisia. The attacking winger spent last season on loan in Belgium with KAS Europe. scoring twice in 19 games in the Pro League. After returning to the PSG side, Gassama now makes a permanent switch to Essex. Welcome to Hillsborough, Deji. Now, we all thought this...
Friends under 20s, so no one told you life was going to be this way, eh, Jake? Sorry. Anyway, yes.
Now, we all thought this deal was dead. A couple of weeks ago, we all thought this deal was completely and utterly dead in the water. And I don't know what's wrong with him today. To bear with us.
I'm just on silly juice, clearly. It's sleep deprivation, something. I don't know.
But we all thought this deal was dead.
We all thought the deal was dead.
It came out that he wasn't really fancying in England. It wasn't what he wanted. There were rumours that he was going to go to FC Basel in Switzerland. And then out of nowhere, it all sort of going fast again. Again, Italian media, French media, it leaks.
Leaks like a sieve.
It leaks a lot.
Good Lord.
And yeah, it was one of those weird ones where you're looking at this going, okay, he's in. The players are in the building. He's done. And the fact that, as much as it sounds weird, I've seen a lot of people go, maybe it wasn't that he didn't want to go to Hull, because it was Hull who were in for him. Maybe it was more that we needed to, we put a better offer in front of him. Now, there is, according to the reports, is that we've, according to the report, we have got the situation where something like it's $1 million we pay for him. There's a 20% sell-on fee and stuff like that. Like most of our deals, the 20% sell-on fees. What do you think about this one?
I think it's really promising, to be honest. But no. Apparently, according to certain parts of the fan base on Twitter, he's terrible because he's only played 2 games for PSG, so he must be terrible. But no, yes, because absolutely a player that would be in a regular starting 11 for Paris Saint-Germain, like, I don't know, I can't think of them off the top of my head. Dani Alves, who played for them a while ago, yes. Because someone of that calibre would absolutely come to Sheffield Wednesday and not Spurs or Chelsea or Arsenal or Man United. Yes, a regular PSG player would absolutely come to the Championship, to a newly promoted side. Absolutely. But yes, I'm really excited about this one.
I think it shows you what we're doing. For a while...
Jake just looked really dead behind the eyes when I went on that little tirade. Anyway,
I think
his comment section has been he just was getting loads of like PTSD flashbacks to his own comment section on videos.
No,
but yes, I really like the look of him. He's going to be a good one, I think.
I think for me, we're going down this route that we've been saying that we wanted to go down for a while as fans. We said we want to go and get young players from out of nowhere and see what happens and stuff like that. I know Brighton, it's an example because they do it really well. Like, look at what they do. Yes, they do have a better recruitment system. But I think everyone now, at one point, everyone was following the Brentford model. And I think everyone now is going to try and recreate the Brighton model. It's something stupid. I think they've made 390 odd million out of transfers.
That's crazy, isn't it?
And
Brighton,
when you think of Casado was only like 4 million when they bought him, which is insane. But I think,
and then like McAllister and players like that they've got for next to nothing, and then sold for God knows how much money.
It can work.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think you're gonna have to give this lad time though. It's similar to the Masaba. He's 19, 22 in ages, the pair of them. Like I said, I wasn't expecting him to play yesterday, I'll be honest. I thought that was a bit too far, but I understand giving him minutes just to experience it, see if he could change.
He's only been at the club like, what, 4 or 5 days? Something like that, isn't it?
We signed him on...
Within a week. It's within a week,
We signed him on the 15th. So...
Oh, yeah, so 5 days as of the day of recording. So he was... He made his debut 4 days into his time at Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah. So that's,
I think
quite something.
I think we've got to give it time. Again, though, it shows where we're looking. It shows we're looking in different places.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if we, as long as we nurture it and stuff like that, I think it's another 3-year deal as well. Like him and Masaba on 3-year deals. You look at attacking-wise, we still do need more, don't get me wrong, but I think soon we might need to start looking at some players out when we start bringing in, because you don't want to get a too bloated squad. We've done that before. It doesn't end well. But if you're going from a position of what we were dealing with beforehand with 17, and now you've got close to what I think it's 25, 26 players, it helps. But we'll see what happens. But I'm excited by this one. I think this one will be good.
Oh, absolutely. Same here.
So this is the bit where it doesn't go great. So Mo Diaby made his debut yesterday, and he absolutely looked fantastic. A lot of people saying he played a little bit like Carlton Palmer on it, but went off injured. So the Star are reporting that the French midfielder was a standout performance in the base of midfield and put together an encouraging 67 minutes before he fell in what looks like to be considered discomfort. They spoke to Sicko. Sicko said he's arrived 5 days. He lives in a hotel. He's had nothing. He's played 100% in the game. Normally, you're a man, not a machine. I love his quotes. This is the thing I need people to understand. If I lose him for 2 months or 3 months, then after we are thinking that they are players. They are not machines. We'll see what happens. They then said, we'll see if it's a dangerous situation. I know what the doctor told me, but we are waiting on an MRI. I don't want to say too much after an MRI. After that, we'll then know exactly 100%, and then we'll talk about the situation. It's not great. And if he is out for 2 to 3 months, I think we're going back into the loan market for a player. Because we can't afford to have him missing for that long. 2-3 months. If he's out for 2-3 months, he's back, November, December time, getting fully back. And I don't think we got the time to be doing that. Let's hope it's not. Let's hope it's not. But he did play really well. And again, I think I like the quote. The players, they're not machines. I think there's a human.
They're men, not machines.
I think there's a human aspect there, which is nice, which I don't think you see that often. But yeah, what do you think?
Oh yeah, totally. We were saying like 3 episodes ago that we really needed like an anchor man in midfield, and we didn't have that. And not Ron Burgundy, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, not Ron Burgundy, but an actual like playmaking solid anchor man that can keep up with the pace of the game. Because I don't know, we were both saying it before the episode, but I don't know if Will Volks can possibly keep up with the pace of the style that Xisco wants to play, and whereas Mo Diaby clearly can, and that's the sort of player that we've needed for a long time. And it's a shame that he might be injured for a little bit, but we've dealt with injuries before and we've got through it. We just need to, we need to just focus on what's to come now. Whatever happens, happens. Doesn't matter how things could have been different, and being sad, being sad about past events and all that jazz. We just need to focus on what's next. We need to stop thinking in the past. And it's something that, sadly, a lot of us have got into the habit of doing, is thinking in the past and not in the future and what's to come next, So we take it as it comes, the news about this injury, and we just adapt to the situation.
I think we're still going to be in the market for anyway, because I still think we need players.
Yes,
because that midfield is still not great. I'm not gonna lie. Having Bayer back was fantastic, but having just Bannon, Byers, that's about your 2 starters. You got.
We basically need the person that we can sub on for them. I would say.
I think we
for their
need
position,
at least
whatever you want to call it.
1 or 2 attacking midfielders. But the problem is, I think some players might need to start going out soon, because
I would definitely send Rio Shipston out on loan, just for his own personal development and everything, because I don't think he's getting in this first team now.
I would do that anyway, because when Sicko was asked about him in the press conference, he went, "Who?"
Oh dear.
Yes. So I think that's something that does need to happen.
Yes.
But I think we're not far off in terms of what we need, kind of thing, and it'll be interesting to see what we do. But talking of future, something happened. I think it was Friday night. Rob Staten put out a statement from Adam Shaw. So we all remember who Adam Shaw is. Adam Shaw is part of the Shaw Wellness thing. He's also one of our prime sponsors for our mental health stuff. And he put out a really weird statement, and it's odd. So I'll read the statement. My US partners and I have a very strong desire to make a full acquisition of the club, driven by our interpretation of the strategy required to progress Sheffield Wednesday FC to complete consistently in the top flight. That said, our desire and our resources does not prove my US partners and I are entitled or privileged where the current legal owner is obliged to partake or even consider any form of negotiations or discussion. Due to the current owner's decision not to enter discussion with my US partners and I regarding our intentions over a possible acquisition of the club, we do not have adequate disclosure to be in a position to make a formal offer. Now, this is a weird time to statement to come out. Now, I understand why he put it out. It's quite clever. I think he's seen the unrest with people with Chansiri and gone, let's just put it out there. But, again, Chansiri's always said he does not want to sell the club. He said constantly.
Really? You haven't said that constantly, have you, as well? My God.
No, but I get it. Like, when he got interviewed and said, would I like to own the club? Of course I would. I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan. I'm Sheffield. I would love to own the club. But I don't think this helps. I don't think the way you put the statement out helps. It's like
it feels a bit backstabby, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's
20, I don't know. 23rd, I think it was 23rd of June or July or whenever it was. He turned around and said, I want to give my resources and help Chansiri out and stuff like that. Yeah, then this comes out. It's weird. I don't get it. I don't see the logic. Let me go on, talk me through it.
I just think all the timing is very, very weird about this. And he seems to overly mention my US partners. But like, if you do have all of these US partners, name them. Who are they? You know, like, if you've got these, it's a bit like a lot of the time in business as well. People at the heads of business will make big, bold statements, a bit like this, to drive interest in whatever it is they're trying to peddle, and then they don't actually have as much as they
think
are putting forwards, or as much as they want people to think, and all that sort of thing, because it sells well. Even on social media, a lot of all of these influencers taking pictures by boats and all that crap. It's all for show. They don't own the boat. They just have a picture by a boat because it looks better on their thing. And I just wonder if this is a similar sort of case. I mean, we don't know to be sure. To legally cover our backsides, we have no idea. This is the point we're making as well. We have no idea who any of these partners are. We have no idea if the actual resources at this group's disposal would even be enough to run the club properly in the top flight.
Well, Adam Shaw himself,
we have no idea about any of this.
I think Adam Shaw's only got 18 million.
Yeah. The only person we know is actually involved in this is Adam Shaw himself. We have no idea who these US partners are. We have no idea if there's just one or if there's 7, you know? If there are these US partners, put a name to them. Let people know who they are so that they can be more of a trustworthy, like a trustworthy, informed piece of information, rather than just saying my US partners. Because that just sounds, it's either ominous or they don't exist.
I also don't like the idea of the consortium.
Yes, because, well, look at how consortiums have gone before with other places. It's gone very well in some situations, or there's a situation like at Bournemouth where it's a bit of a train wreck at the minute because they're just trying to figure out how the heck to run a football club.
They're not doing too badly to Bournemouth.
Yeah. But some of the decisions they've made have been crazy. But yes.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I don't
know.
I do think in the business sense, I think he's seen the unrest and gone, maybe put my name out there as a kind of thing. People do want, again, to go back to the DC out thing. I personally don't think protest does anything apart from let fans get their anger out and shout. If protest did anything, and even then, the Glazers, the Birmingham ownership would have been gone a long, long time ago. And they're all still in. Apart from Birmingham's just been sold. But you know what I mean? Glazers, that's a massive, massive club with massive... The the thing is, the reason why like FC United were formed is that they didn't want to do it and they took the money out. Again, business is very simple. You take the money out of something, then they go, oh, it hits that in my bottom line. People are not going to give up watching Wednesday. Because
the amount of people that have said, I want Chancery out, but then they still want to keep buying tickets and keep going to the games and all that sort of stuff.
I do
think just shouting about it is not going to do anything. If you want to affect a business, and this is a business, Sheffield Wednesday Football Club is a business. If you need to affect a business and make a statement to a business, then you take away the income by not putting your thing in. So if you are unhappy with the state of things and want to force change in a business, that is typically what you would do.
My thing is here is if your Chancery in, if your Chancery out, it's your opinion, it's your thoughts, you're more than welcome to it. You all have your reasons why, and I understand the Chancery out lot. I do get it. He has priced a lot of the fans out of football, out of going to games, and I get it, and I understand it, and I get it, but I personally don't see what fans can actually do right now. Like, for me, I'd rather just concentrate on seeing what we can get done on the pitch instead of the background of who owns what. At the end of the day, Chancery's here. He's been here for a while now. He put more money into the club than any other owner we've ever had. Yes, has it been invested poorly at times? Yes. But we don't have a say on how the general running of the club is.
Exactly.
It's not our club. In legal sense,
no.
As ownership,
in the legal sense, it's not our club.
In the
in our hearts and our souls, then it is our club.
Yeah.
But hearts and souls don't really make a change in the fiscal money world.
To, like British Gas and say, here's my electric bill, here's my heart and soul.
Exactly. Here's my electric bill, here's my soul. Yes. You can figuratively sell your soul to the devil, but you can't physically sell your soul for a load of cash enough to buy Sheffield Wednesday or whatever.
We'll see what happens. Because
I also will say as well, the polarizing weird thing here is we went up in the playoff final. After we won that playoff final, it was so unanimously Chancery in, it was ridiculous. And yet now, a little shake-up because the manager didn't agree terms.
I don't think it was.
And suddenly it's Chancery out again.
And
there was a large
Chancery in because there's still a lot of people who wanted him out even then, and I still think a lot of people still blame him for going down, which I understand. I think the thing is, with everything that's going on the pitch and then everything off the pitch and prices and all that lot, it's taking a while for everything to settle again.
Yes,
and I think the thing is, this could rumble on again. We've had no statement from Chancery himself about this. I don't think we will, but he might do. He does like to turn around and put a statement out to say something. We were at one point, in my eyes, Statement FC, because every other week we were having a statement. There was
a statement. Yeah.
It would just doing my head in. But I think, let's see what happens. Let's see if anything comes from this.
Exactly.
Let's see if anything, like you said, do we find out who his US partners are? Do we find out what the situation is? I know they've been talking the Discord about this as well, and I understand it. So let's see what happens. I don't want to make too much of a big deal out of it because it's a statement. A statement doesn't mean anything. As it says here, we've not been in a position to make a formal offer. So it's like so
that means they don't have that's either they don't have the money to actually make a formal offer for the club right now, or the actual person that owns the club doesn't want to enter discussions. They're the two scenarios. And I think it's the latter. That statement. That's what that means. Yes.
So we'll see what happens. Let me know.
And as well, I just want to say as well, because yes, there's been a little bit of criticism about the chairman, but you don't care about a football club if you like someone that doesn't care about a football club and wants it and doesn't want it to succeed does not put as much money as Mr. Chancery has put into this football club. If you don't care, you just up sticks and go. You don't put any money in anymore. Look at Wigan. That's exactly the case there. Like, he cares so much about this football club, but so do we, and as fans. And and both parties just need to find a better way of communicating, I feel.
Yeah.
And especially the fan perspective, I feel like it needs to be less hostile. It needs to be less abrasive in the point of contact with the club, because then maybe points might be received a bit better if the fan parties were not going in all guns blazing from the get-go. You know what I'm trying to say?
I know what you mean.
If a bit more of an olive branch diplomatic approach needs to be had here, otherwise no discussions will ever take place.
Yeah.
It will just be the club keeps separate and just puts out statements that it puts out, and fan contact goes back to being as limited as it was after those two playoff semi-final. The playoff final and the playoff semi-final years, you know, the Gary Monk years, the Joss years, that sort of thing. And it just goes back to that again, if there's just hostility in the discussions. So we need to adopt a calmer, diplomatic approach, and then maybe things will get a lot better, a lot faster in that sort of department. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Does that? I hope you all understand. Anyway, yes.
So,
yes.
This week, Sicko had his usual press conference, and this is from the Star. And this is passionate. Sicko offered clarity on Reece James' Sheffield Wednesday situation. The charismatic Spaniards have fielded questions, queries even, over Marvin Johnson's failure to land a place in competitive matchday squad since his arrival at Hillsborough, and this week conceded it was his mistake to tell reporters that they should ask the player why he'd been left out of the defeat. Which, fair play, he put his hand up, he said, that's on me.
Yeah.
But then we start talking about James. Reece James, who came in as our first signing, played 4 minutes against Southampton, and was the left back out the squad for the trip to Hull. I think he played first at Stockport as well, with Akin for third at left back. Now, Sicko went on to say, always when I'm asked about players who aren't playing, maybe you think that these players don't give the correct level. I don't know why people ask me about who doesn't play. Why not speak about the players who play and how they can improve? You ask me about players who don't play. James, with my decision, we're thinking right now that Akin Femero is a better than James about this position. Before I go there, he's the manager. I understand that. Granted, I get that. Personally, I think James is better, but he's trying something new. Again, he's trying something new. He's doing what he thinks is better from seeing him week in. I'll go back into it. Why aren't we saying Akin had a good performance and played very well in this play? For me, this is the situation. James played in the cup. Did you ask me why not play Akin? The rules are that I can only put 20 in a squad and 11 on the pitch. If the next game I put James in the first 11, why do we need to speak about Akin? I'm thinking about the squad and how we can win those 3 points because that's all the focus is on. I don't know why people ask me about who doesn't play. Why not speak about the players who play and how they can improve? You ask me about players who don't play. Now, this is interesting because it's a very different style of approach of how asking questions to Darren Moore to Sicko. It is a little bit of a different style. Now, for me, they have gone a little bit attacking on him in certain questions. But again, people keep going back to this. Why doesn't he play X, Y, and Z? Why didn't he play the Darren Moore team? Because it's not Darren Moore who's in charge anymore.
Yes. It feels like even the media personalities need to get into their heads. This isn't Darren Moore at the helm anymore. This is a entirely different style. Maybe in training as well, Akin is putting a lot more conscious effort into trying to learn Sicko's ways of, what he wants from the left back. And Reece James isn't. Reece James is just playing his normal game, and if he fits in, or if he doesn't, oh well. Maybe that's Reece James's approach on the training pitch, and that's why he's not being selected. Because Akin's putting more of a conscious effort into yes, I need to learn this way. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's what he's seen on the training pitch, and that's
Akin is a great left back. I think he'll get caught out a lot. I think you can see Brain goes into centre back mode where he's trying to move into a centre back position and leaves it completely open. But this is what Sicko's trying to learn.
But that comes with time as well. It's the same with the rest of them. We're giving that. By the way, I'm not having a go, Jake.
No.
But this is what we were saying about the rest of the team as well, about the new signings, is give them time. They need to adjust. They need to adjust to how each other plays. Crap. hit my microphone. They need to. I get very. I use my hands a lot when I'm talk. I'm one of these people that talks with the hands.
Just don't start getting in pointy.
We need to give people. Yes. Oh, the finger pointy thing. That's been pointed out many times. But yes, Reece James. Akin. Sorry, giving Akin time to adjust to this new position. He was playing 2 years. Was it 2 years? Yeah, he signed 2 years ago when we went down, didn't he? Playing 2 years of Darren Moore football, where he's been the left-sided centre half.
Because it was last year.
A year ago, yes. Last year. So he's played a year of Darren Moore football, where he was playing at the left-sided centre half. He needs to adjust to the left-back role. He can play it. It's just that in his head, he keeps subconsciously, from muscle memory, doing the positional play of a centre-back, not of a left-back. And that comes with time. It's muscle memory. It's like an amateur can't take up boxing and be able to step in a ring within 4 weeks, within like a month, 2 months. You're not ready to step in a ring and actually face up against somebody that's going to punch you in the head. That takes at least 6 months and even longer. And it's the same sort of thing with a football player when you change their position.
Well, this is where in the Preston game,
a while.
Masaba made really good defensive decision to come back and help. And I think when the last 2 games, Delgado was trying to do that, and I don't think Delgado got that. He had got that ability that he can play left back and but I think he rolled to go forward, and I think he's forgetting to come back and do a bit of the defensive thing. Why versus Preston, it worked quite well when you had Palmer on the right and Akin on left. But Akin got help from Masaba coming back and helping.
Yes,
and I think that's what we didn't see versus Hull versus Southampton. There wasn't him the player wasn't coming back to help and get involved where Anthony was. I think with this and it goes back to Johnson's thing, James and Johnson have got sentimental value to the players who came up with us, and so there's that.
And of course, James is the one that scored the 3rd goal to keep us in that comeback game.
Just to kind of go a little bit here,
so
the man here, Jack, did turn around and said when we signed James, he would be a squad player.
Yes, and lots of people agreed with me as well, actually, that James will be a squad player. And now he is being used as a squad player, and people are freaking out about it. Even though lots of people said he's probably a squad player behind whoever.
I think the thing that's interesting, I don't think, if you look at what Sicko's walked into on that first press conference, with everything with chairman going just psychotic, he wasn't psychotic. That's a bad word, but you know what I mean. It wasn't a good start.
It was suddenly a crazy time. Everything was up in the air. It was all.
If you're going from what you've seen there and seeing how defensive your owner got and your boss has got to stuff, do you then go, oh, I need to be defensive myself now because when the questions are coming in?
I think I would say that Xisco was clearly on the chip, like in that. The interview that made the national news to do with, Chansiri talking about Carlton Palmer and that whole thing, I think probably seeing how certain press members were going at the chairman like that,
even though it was just
as almost puts, even though it was just that one reporter, I think that's put Xisco on the back foot about maybe the local media a lot because they've seen that's how they've treated the chairman, and so that he's then thinking, oh, they're going to be hostile to me too. So maybe ironically, they have been a little bit. Some of them.
There is also a bit of a situation where a lot of what he does say, I think, sometimes gets lost in the translation or what the translation is with that. What really annoys me, and it's a bit off topic, I still don't get why we're doing Zoom. I think because it's easier. I think they're doing the Zoom meeting because it's just easier instead of having to get everybody in and stuff like that. But it done my head in. There's no other club that I know that are doing Zoom meetings anymore. They're all in person. Yet we're still in the lockdown, you're going to do a Zoom meeting. Done my head in. Let them come in. Let them speak to him. It might make the questions go a bit easier. You might not have that issue with the translation kind of issue. Yeah. But it was interesting.
I would say look at how the in-person ones have gone recently, though. The most recent one, look at how that went. It was a train wreck. Granted, it was a bit of an announcement thing, but a lot of the time there has been an in-person meeting of that nature. Like some sort of press person has then ambushed whoever was being interviewed with some surprise question that's like that's just taken them off guard and derailed the sort of thing. And so maybe that's it. Maybe it's like you pay your dividends and you apologize to us and grovel, and then we'll have in-person press conferences again, you know?
Yeah.
But
Who knows?
maybe there's a bit of that going
Who
on.
knows?
We don't know. We don't know. The only one that can answer that is probably the media officer and the chairman.
Yeah.
That they're the only people that know the answer to that.
At the end of the day,
I do agree. I do agree. It's a bit annoying seeing it just being a Zoom meeting.
at the end
all
of the
time.
day, he picked the players. He sees what they
Yes,
see
exactly.
in training. We don't. And let's just, again, I say it again, let's see where we are in 10 to 15 games. And then he might
Yes.
have to turn around and go, I'll have to do this. On the
October, November time is the best time to make the decision on this.
Marvin Johnson one, he come out and said it was my mistake. I credit him because I think if you can say you've made a mistake, I think that shows him as what kind of a human being he is.
Yeah.
I think it says he said he's not scared of the team making mistakes. He wants them to make mistakes so they can learn from it. But in the situation we're in, making mistakes doesn't help us. Right, we're going to go on to this story. And this says to me that we are not finished in the transfer market at all.
No.
Sheffield Wednesday.
I think we're going to be that busy team on the final day, you know,
yeah,
on the
that'll
yellow
be fun.
tie day.
I found my yellow tie as well.
Oh.
It's in a draw.
Oh, nice.
Sheffield Wednesday,
Same.
Sisco Muniz called for patience while he looked for special signings. This is from the Yorkshire Post. That was the answer when we will see Darren Moore promotion winning morph into a recognised Muniz team. With 25 players, thanks to 10 summer signings, he believes he has enough football to work with, but will search for stardust to lift things to the next level. What the former Watford coach craved most is patience. His side had lost their opening 2 at that time of this interview, lost their opening 3 now, getting squeaking past 4th Stockport County in the League Cup, but it has been the manner too, with Southampton and Hull hogging the ball. Again, changed it in first to Preston. Ask when we will see the best side when the team is ready, this is normal. To play the high press, we need about 7 things. We need time, and I need people to show patience because we have signed good players, but the players haven't had pre-season. Paul Valentine didn't, Ashley Fletcher didn't, Deshaun Bernard didn't. They all arrived and they play. Our team has improved a lot of things for sure, but we are most close every day because every day I'm working with the team and giving me everything. This week is the second time this situation we have had a clean sheet with no midweek matches to work on all situations. He could turn to the fringe of the Premier League to improve things. I'm happy with the squad because now we have 2 players for each position. Seth Muniz for Saturday visitors thing. Now we need to find something special. It's difficult, but we will do our best. Everybody is in the same situation. We try to get some Premier League loans, but sometimes it's not just what you want. It's what you can do. We are waiting on some players and we're trying. Before I get into this, I've seen this already. Stop taking the mic or someone saying situation. It's a word he liked to use. People had it with Darren Moore when he used to go, just don't. It's a word he liked to use. Leave him too. One thing on this is I think we keep forgetting about Paul Valentine. He's a left back.
Yes. But I think he probably needs a lot more. See, for some of these players that have come from overseas, they're going to need a bit of more of a leniency in terms of patience because they have to adjust to English football.
And English weather.
Because it's like, because the championship style of play is a lot more physical and a lot more. Well, it's a bit like Gassama. It's a bit like Gassama with the French league. That in Spain, it's the same. They have a lot of time on the ball, and then they lose out the ball, lose the ball in the final third, and then there's a counter press, and it's a counter and a counter and a counter and a counter, end to end like that. It's not a constant battle where you could lose the ball at any time.
Yeah.
You know, both physically and making a mistake and someone's nicks a pass or something like that. It's a lot more intense in the championship than what Valentine is used to, and so he will need a bit of more of an adjustment period, you know. And that's possibly why he's not playing. But again, pre-season, Valentine.
I think you've got the thing is
exactly
you look at the players who didn't have a pre-season. You look at all that he wanted players in to go to Spain. He didn't get it. They all came afterwards. We can't do it about that. That's done. Again, I still think even if we end August with 0 points and we go into September, I think after that international break is where we might see a lot of changes.
Yes.
Because he'll use it as a mini preseason for players who haven't.
Yeah, he will.
Because, and again, this week, we have a week where we have 0 games in the week. So it'll be back straight doing stuff. On Fletcher, what I've seen of him, I haven't seen much of him and how he looks. I have just remembered there is a story that I didn't put in the document, which we are going to quickly put in because I did.
Oh, because
I did a video on it, and I can't say his name for the toffee, so you're going to do it.
Okay.
Where is it? But it is that thing where you are looking at Wednesday and going, yeah, you need time for it. If he gets that special Stardust thing, you're thinking at the times of when we had Ross Bartley or something like that, someone who had that quality, who could change it like overnight. And
yeah,
I think everybody's looking for that player. That's the problem.
Yes,
everybody is looking for that player. So I think it's one of those things where you've got to look at it carefully, see what happens, and we'll see. Again, I'm saying it again, we'll have to see where we are in a couple of weeks' time. And I think a football fan, people don't have time. They don't give it time. They don't give people time. And I think it's interesting. But if we can get this next special player in, like I said, I don't think we're doing.
Yes.
Like I said, he thinks he's got 2 feet position. But before we go on to, I'm going to let you read this one. This was discussed on Friday night that we could be linked with this player. So go for it, Jack.
So former Hearts striker is in discussions with Sheffield Wednesday, according to certain news article sources. Uche Ikpeazu was a popular member of the Hearts team, which reached the final of the 2019 Scottish Cup. The 6'3" forwards was praised for his hold-up play during his time in the Scottish capital, and he's being strongly considered as a viable option for newly promoted Championship side Sheffield Wednesday.
Now, he was at Middlesbrough. He then went from Middlesbrough to Turkey. Now, a lot of people who have seen his name pop up have said his scoring record isn't great. I think it's like 16. It's poor. It is poor going record. But what that said to me is maybe not coming in to be the goal scorer, maybe coming in to be that hold-up player.
To fulfill the Nui role. Yeah. I keep calling it the Nui role, but that's the perfect sort of comparison to a former Sheffield Wednesday player. Yeah. But I think we've also got Michael Smith who can do that very well. Yes, he scored like 59 goals or something in, well, 60 now, I guess, including the one he scored recently.
I'm actually going to use the player's first name, which is on his personal information, which is Carl. He's English, he's 28. Carl. He's from Harrow. But at Middlesbrough in the 21-22 season, he scored 2 goals. He went on loan to Cardiff City, scored 3 goals with 13 appearances. While in Turkey, 15 starts, 0 goals. His best spell in his career was at Cambridge United, 69 appearances, 19 goals. He's not a massive goal scorer.
Something to me says that this is agent talk, just trying to drum up some business for him. I don't know if there's much legitimacy in this one. I don't know. And whether it's not just agents that are like, oh, let's put Sheffield Wednesday's name in the mix.
The only thing that you could say here, though, is he was at Watford in 2013-2016, and I believe that's when Luke Dowling was at Watford.
Right.
So it could be a bit of that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. That was someone who was rumoured on Friday night. If it comes of it, it comes of it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. For me, it doesn't. For me, that means someone's going out. And I don't think it's Smith. I know people have gone, Smith didn't start again, he must be off. I just don't think it's Smith. I just think he's trying to get him up to speed.
Well, I mean, Michael Smith's been in several sides that have been Darren Moore-esque football. Like, he played under Paul Warne for a couple of years. That's a similar style of play to Darren Moore. And then he's played for Darren Moore.
But Darren Moore was at the Derby game, which is funny. And people were going, oh, he's going to Derby.
That interview was so funny.
Warne said, No, I gave him the ticket. He's a friend who sat next to my wife. So it was just funny.
Yeah, that was so funny. It was like, oh yeah, absolutely, because I would absolutely give a ticket to the person that could be replacing me. No, I gave a ticket to my friend, and he was sat next to my wife. Like you can have friends in football that just you give tickets to, and yes, they may be well-known football figures, but it's a bit like when Jose Semedo. Jose Semedo. Yeah. It's when like Jose Semedo. I said it again.
Semedo.
I said it again.
Semedo.
Jose Semedo was really trying quite hard to get Cristiano Ronaldo to come to a Wednesday game and watch him. Yeah. But obviously that never managed to come about.
So our next game is against Cardiff City. Cardiff are not in a good position like us. They nearly did actually nick a draw versus Leicester, which would have been good. They are currently in 20th place with 1 point. Now,
with all that's happened there, Jake, how the hell have they been able to afford Aaron Ramsey's wages? Or has he taken a massive wage cut just to go home?
He's taken a massive wage cut.
Right, okay.
Their record is 0-1-1, 1 point, 0.5 per game, 17th in the Championship. Home record is they lost their home game and drawn their away record. So, let's say, they conceded, they've got 3 goals, 1.5 per game, and against it 4. They have a goal difference of -1. Our goal difference is -4. We've played 3 and we've lost all 3, basically, and 7 goals against. So it's not great, but I think this could be a good time to just try and turn it a little bit. I think an away win would be more important than a home win.
I think so too.
And this, like I said, this is we got 2 away games on the trot now. We've got this one and we've got Leeds coming up, which will be massive, game. And then we've got the international break. Let's see how we do after this game. Mark McGuinness has just signed a new contract there as well, so there's no chance of him coming back. And to be honest with you, from what I've seen of Mark McGuinness, since he
didn't look great, actually,
since he's gone back to Cardiff, he don't look great. The goals that he conceded last week were pretty much his fault as well. So, yeah. They've got a new manager. They're trying a new thing as well. There's a lot of teams that are trying new transitional stuff and trying to get used to it. But is there anything else you want to add to the podcast before we go, Jack?
Yes. Look, Phil, it's on again. We've both got them on, Phil. Are you happy? I hope you're really happy. We've both got them on again. We've got our lights on again, Phil. There you go. There you go. Yes, Phil Star. We've got them on again, just for you. Only for you. Nobody else. Just for you.
Jack was saving.
How about you, Jake?
Jack was saving power. You know, he's all frugal now.
Yeah, I'm all.
Just don't let football kind of dictate your life too much. There's more to it, and I know that sounds weird because I do a fan channel on it, but at the end of the day, look at other things. Look at other things. Don't let it ruin your mood too much. Yes, it's back to Saturday where we feel rubbish and nobody, like my other half, was turned around to me and said, "You're grumpy," and then she checked the results like, "Oh, you're grumpy." I'm like, "Yes, I'm grumpy." So it back to normal feeling. And to be honest with you, we ain't had this feeling for a while because of how we did last season. So it feels weird.
And at the same time, have a laugh with it, right? Because it's not your daily life. The Sheffield Wednesday football result does not affect your life directly. It's just something you've observed, right? So have a laugh with it. If we're not on a great run, laugh about it. Because it's better to keep yourself entertained and laugh at it than it is to get so absorbed up in the misery of it.
Let's have a discussion about football.
You know what I mean? Like, I know it's easy to say, and I've got myself miserable at times when we've had it.
It's not going to make anything better, but you've been listening and watching the Talking Wednesday podcast. Thank you for being here today, and we will see you in the next one.